in our storytelling. AT&T was given the monopoly, the only granted monopoly by the state to any private company happened then because they had to solve this problem. Everybody wanted a telephone. Now, if everybody had their own network, then what is the use of having telephone? They had been interconnected in some way. Therefore, the state responded by making a new law granting. See, law and justice are two different things. You should not compare. Whether it is right to give the monopoly to AT&T, you should not question. Law answers the question of how people should live in the society so that there are no conflicts. If there are conflicts, it should be minimized. The question of justice is rarely answered. I'll give you an example. Before aeroplanes were invented, these flying birds, the land ownership laws were different. The law was, if you owned a piece of land, you owned everything above and everything below. Now what was the problem? Airplanes were invented. And these planes had to be named. Now see, I own this land, so everything above this is mine. So what will happen? An airplane moving should take permission from 100 people if it has to go through a small airspace. Incidentally, what happened was, since US is a litigant happy country, it seems one farmer went to Supreme Court of US when aeroplanes were first introduced, that this aeroplane is invading into my space, my property, and my chickens are getting so very scared with these aeroplanes flying out of space. So please compensate. He asked. So, in response to this litigation, the US Senate passed a law. Now onwards, only this much space is yours. After that is gone. Because of that law, aeroplanes could actually fly. Otherwise, we would be making so much money. Vijay Mallya would pay so much for flying above our homes. It would be interesting. What I am trying to say is, law always responds to a situation arising in the society. So if you ask, why was monopoly given to AT&T? That was a necessity at that time. Nobody could foresee that this monopoly tomorrow could trigger something else in the society. This monopoly which was granted then was later challenged by hackers. Hacker movement came because of this monopoly. Anything with respect to telephone could not be tampered under this law. So much so that some innovative company invented a plastic box which you could attach to your telephone speaker so that you could get a clear voice. It could stop all the disturbances around. That attachment was considered illegal, because it was against the monopoly of AT&T. If that attachment had to come, it had to come from AT&T, not from any other company. That was the kind of monopoly they had. Nobody could play around with their machine. You should understand this because the source code ownership later is derived from the same principle. So AT&T was granted the monopoly. We'll stop the story there, part of time. I'll come back to something else and then join the story together. As I said, after Herman Hollerith started IBM, this whole thing happened. AT&T and all followed the IBM path of monopolizing everything. On the other hand, academics in the premier institutes kept the flag flying high. I have discussed to academic people in great detail